Rod Allen, television analyst for the Miami Marlins. He is on the call this weekend with Paul Severino on Bally Sports Florida. Rod, thanks for joining us, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys. How you guys doing today?
We're good, man. We're good. We're good. Rod, how important do you think a series like this is for the Marlins? They just, got themselves back into the wild card hunt. They were on the doorstep of 500, but the Mets have kind of had their numbers so far this year. Mets have had a fantastic season, and the Marlins, they've done a great job kind of beating up on the guys like the Nationals and the under 500 teams. But how important do you think it is for them to really prove themselves against a team that everybody already establishes as a contender?
I think it's important. I mean, as you mentioned, the New York team has had our number. The Mets have had our number. We really haven't played good baseball against them, and it's kind of surprising to me coming off the 6-game winning streak. I know we ran into Ohtani a couple of days ago, but I wasn't expecting them to perform the way they did last night. So I think it's very important that they start to play a little bit better against the Mets. I mean, they played real good against the Houston Astros. They played real good against the Philadelphia Phillies when they were hot for whatever reason. Buck Showalter's Mets just outplay them. Every single game, they're getting 2-out hits. They're running the bases, and we haven't looked like our team against them.
I know we'll get back to the Marlins in just a second, but because he did pitch this week, you played a little bit in Japan. What this Ohtani, what we're watching, is this one of the things that has blown your mind more than anything in the game so far, what he's able to do on both ends of the field?
He's incredible. There's no doubt about that. And I'm glad that our fans down in Miami had a chance to see him up and close and personal. You're not going to see many guys, if any, that can throw 100 miles an hour, that has a split-fingered fastball, that has a vertical drop of 30 inches, and a slider that breaks 20 inches. This dude is amazing, and he put that on display. He watched Sandy Alcántara the night before, and he went out there and he said, you know what, I'm a pretty good pitcher too. And he kind of showed the world that not only that, he got one hit, drove in 2, and he stole a base. He's a remarkable talent. When I played in Japan, there were some guys over there that were good pitchers. There was a few guys that were good hitters, but he is the best Japanese talent I've ever seen. And I've seen some of the best talent over there when I was playing.
It's pretty amazing. Like in our lifetime, we witnessed something like Shohei Ohtani when you never even consider something like this, especially the way how specialized sports have gotten. Like, this is so unique. I think people should really just understand. Yeah, like, you may never see another person like this again.
No, you may never see anything like this because he gets compared to Babe Ruth. And many of us in our lifetime, we never had a chance to see Babe Ruth. So there's another generation that's coming after this, us, that's never going to be able to see a guy like Shohei Ohtani. But he is awfully special. And you're absolutely right. When guys are specializing in one position, either you're a starter or you're a reliever or you're a bullpen piece or you're a position player, you got guys now that they call Swiss Army knives that are playing all over the diamond. But here you have this one guy, he's DHing. And he's a power pitcher. He started the All-Star game last year at both positions. They made a rule for him so he can stay in games because he's good for baseball. So it's just a wonderful thing that we're able to witness in baseball.
I'm going to go out on a limb, Rod, and say none of us have seen Babe Ruth play.
That's a real large limb, partner.
I mean, you threw it out there. You threw it out there like maybe somebody has seen him. No, I'm gonna go ahead on. I can say with confidence.
That guy's telling whoppers. We're talking to Rod Allen. He is your Marlins television analyst, doing a fantastic job with Paul Severino this year, first year on the broadcast with the Fish. Rod, speaking of Sandy Alcántara, we'll see him on Sunday. This guy also, he's doing some things like Leroy was talking about specialized. We're not really seeing guys, maybe a few handful of guys who are this durable and able to legitimately, like every time you hand the ball, say, hey, he can go the distance. So a two-parter, like one, just how impressed are you with what he's able to do with every time it seems like he can go finish a game? And also, how confident are you that I'm sure the numbers are crazy, but how confident are you that he can keep this up throughout a season? Because I see that he's so many innings ahead of the next guy behind him. Is it good for him to keep doing this if the Marlins are going to be in the postseason run?
Well, it's good for Sandy because Sandy prepares very hard every fifth day to go out and do what he likes to do, and that's pitch, and he likes to go deep in games. He gets upset if Donnie takes him out, and if he's around 100 pitches, or 110 pitches. That's not that many for a guy that's pitching 7-8 innings a day. So Dottie just lets him do his thing. And I love what I'm watching to answer your first question. He is an absolute beast. I mean, I've been blessed in my broadcast career to watch Randy Johnson for 4 years in Arizona. I've watched Verlander for a decade. I've seen Scherzer up close and personal. I'm talking about not one start, but hundreds of starts. And Sandy takes a back seat really to none of these guys as far as his skill set. I mean, with a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, he threw 6 fastballs 100 miles an hour in his last start against the Angels. He came out and he wanted to send a message to Trout and also Ohtani. He wasn't going to give up a run in the very first inning. So that's what Sandy could do. He can throw 92 in the first, or he can throw 100 in the first. And his 100th pitch of the game against the Angels was 100 miles an hour. He's an absolute beast. I mean, I love watching him pitch. And when opposing teams start to look at video on Sandy, they might as well turn the video off, because it doesn't matter what you're doing. He's gonna do his game. He's one of those guys that prepares for himself. He doesn't worry about the other team that much.
Right. You know, I always wondered about this, and I remember a few years ago, Nolan Ryan kind of said something about this, and basically what he said is that if we want pitchers to throw late in the games, we have to train our arms that way. And with all the specialized, the setup guy, the closer, or whatever, there comes moments in this during the season, whether it gets a playoff or a pennant race or playoff contention, where you need your aces to go 7, 8, 9 innings, and they're unable to do it because they've never done it. How much do you think this is true, or just baseball has become so specialized that you have setup guys, you don't worry about your starter going that far?
I think everything that you said is factual, and Nolan Ryan is absolutely right. I mean, we are teaching our kids in the minor leagues to throw maybe 75 pitches because you don't want them to get hurt before they get to the big leagues, especially your higher round draft choices. So it is a lot of special care down there. They watch them with kid gloves. And then when they do get to the big leagues, they're not accustomed to pitching beyond the 5th inning. It's a special guy like Sandy. It's a special guy like Pablo that can do things like that. And every team has 1 or 2 guys like that. But by and large, what you have in baseball is a lot of guys that come from the minor leagues, and a lot of guys come from the minor leagues are relievers, and they come to the big leagues. They're only told you're going to pitch 3 or 4 innings and let it all hang out at 89, 90 miles an hour, because we've seen a lot of teams with openers. So they're basically starting a guy out of the bullpen. So I just think that the days are gone where we're going to see guys win 300 games. I think the days are gone where we're going to see a lot of starting pitchers pitch 200 innings in a season like Sandy did last year. I think there were 5 guys that did that, but I just don't think that's where baseball is trending right now. However, I think I'm starting to see some changes. I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to see teams not shifting as much. I'm starting to see, sorry for the noise, man. You know I'm in New York.
You got to do it. You got the noise.
I'm starting to see teams trending a little bit differently as far as, trying to beat the shift. Guys are bunting for a base hit. And I'm watching some transformation in our game. I know analytics is a big part of our game, but I think that quietly we are going back to the game that we all used to love and played years ago. And not that analytics is bad. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm starting to see some trends in baseball going back to the way it used to be.
Talking to Rod Allen, you guys can catch him tonight on the Marlins broadcast with Paul Severino, Marlins and Mets, as they continue this 4-game series. Pablo Lopez on the hill tonight, 7:10 first pitch from New York. As you can hear, Rod is right there in the Big Apple. We appreciate the time, Rod. Thanks so much, man, and join you on the broadcast this year. And I hope we can do it again down the line.
All right, Tobin, Leroy, I appreciate you guys.
Thanks, Rod.
Appreciate Rod Allen there.